Despite this year being the 30th anniversary of the Final Fantasy franchise, honestly, I don't feel as though there's been a huge deal to shout about in terms of the celebration. Sure, we had the announcement of Dissidia NT at E3, they released Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age, they've had tons of special events in the mobile games, and we've had some merchandise, but there hasn't really been that one big defining thing that happened this year to really signal how important this massive milestone is for Square Enix, but also for the fan base. Well, according to Shinji Hashimoto, who is the brand manager for Final Fantasy, it's actually next year that we should be looking out for, as apparently they have big, exciting plans on the horizon. The update comes from an interview that was posted on Square Enix's sponsored YouTube channel called the Edamame Arcade channel. The main focus of the interview was around the trading card game, but towards the end they asked Hashimoto about what's next for the Final Fantasy brand. He started off by saying, "This year is the 30th anniversary of Final Fantasy. There aren't many things that go for 30 years. But after saying this, he then changed his track. I mean, we're now in December, and although there are some opportunities to announce new games at either the PlayStation Experience or perhaps Jump Festa, based on what Hashimoto said next, it doesn't look like they're going to be taking those opportunities, at least when it comes to new games. As he said, next year will be the 31st year, and our teams are busy working on new titles. They are all gearing up for a big year next year." And he then reiterated, next year is going to be a big year. Now, this should be all pretty exciting, and don't get me wrong, if it turns out to be the case, then it will be absolutely awesome. But I do need to temper expectations here. I think Shinji Hashimoto is a lovely guy, and when I had the opportunity to meet him, he was also lovely in person. But despite his position within the company and with the brand, a lot of what he says often has to be taken with a pinch of salt. There was of course the infamous troll version of Hashimoto that appeared during the PlayStation Experience in 2014, where he announced a new version of Final Fantasy VII for the PlayStation 4, which was just a port of the original. But more recently he's been at it again. Right after the 30th anniversary opening ceremony, he spoke to Famitsu. They highlighted that the opening ceremony had kind of focused on already announced games, and asked if there were any plans to release some new titles as part of the anniversary celebration. In response, Hashimoto told them that they were working on numerous new Final Fantasy titles, and that they were preparing some announcements for the year that wouldn't just be limited to home console games. Now, it's not that I doubt that they are actually working on multiple new Final Fantasy games right now, I'm sure they are, but all we have to do is look at where we are 12 months on from what Hashimoto just said. Sure, we have had the announcement of Dissidia NT as a home console game, but we already knew that was happening anyway. We then had the announcement and release of Monster of the Deep Final Fantasy 15, and the recent announcement of the Japanese exclusive World of Final Fantasy Melee Mellow, a mobile spin-off. It means that right now the horizon is looking pretty bare, and it looks like those announcements that they had planned for this year are now going to slip into next year. But what do you guys think? Do you reckon we'll actually have some big Final Fantasy announcements next year, or do you think it will end up being something that's a bit more subdued, like new mobile spin-offs? Let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this update, please hit that like button and subscribe. I'd also like to let you know that because we passed 35,000 subscribers, we are planning to do a massive giveaway soon for our Patreon supporters. You can find out more information at patreon.com/FFunion. These awesome guys that you're seeing right now have already chosen to support us on Patreon, and we are incredibly grateful. Alright guys, this is Daryl signing out. I'll see you soon for more Final Fantasy videos.